Hello, Palla families. Today I'm going to talk about attendance, why it matters, and some ways that you can help and how we can help here at the school for you and our families. So, first of all, why does attendance matter in school? So as you can see, students who attend school regularly have been shown to achieve at higher levels than students who do not have regular attendance. Research has shown that attendance is an important factor in student achievement. Poor attendance has serious implications for later factors as well. And you can see by the image to the right with just the example of reading. So, those with good attendance, starting off as early as kindergarten and first grade, who miss fewer than 9 days both school years, they are reading at much, much higher levels than those students in the lower grades that are considered chronically absent or even at risk of attendance. Facts about school attendance. When students improve their attendance rates, they improve their academic prospects and chances of graduating. And so it's a long term goal, long term process. So starting now with good attendance. Attendance improves when schools engage students and parents in positive ways and when schools provide mentors for chronically absent students. So you can see that we want to start early in the elementary age of starting with that positive attendance so it can help them graduate from high school and go on to college or even just have great careers later on. And did you know that students that have too many absences fall behind in school? Missing 10% of the school year increases the chance that your student will not read or master math at the same level as other students. Students can fall behind if they are absent 1 or 2 days every few weeks, or if they are constantly late to school. Students that are absent 2 or more days each month achieve 25% lower than other students that are attending school regularly. So you may not think it's a big deal missing just a couple days here and there, but it adds up altogether. And so the consequences, if absences continue at that rate, is they could have failing grades, they can test low on different standardized test scores. Even in the future, they can be wanting to drop out of school. They have difficulty finding a good job or getting into college, maintaining a steady income. They could even possibly in the future fall into drug and alcohol abuse or even be incarcerated. So, having those good attendance habits now, starting those, can really, really help reduce any of these consequences from happening. And our former Governor Brown signed into law a state bill and an assembly bill, which became effective in January 1st, 2019. Both laws are in regards to state attendance policies surrounding notification of truancy and the SARB process. And so this just shows a calendar once again of just thinking that if your student just misses a couple days here and there each month, it's really not a big deal. But you can see from this calendar that it typically defined as missing 10% or more of a school year. And this can be a student that is absent from school 2 days a month. Students that are considered a chronic absentee can now be referred to the Student Attendance Review Board, or SARB, as what was referred in the slide before with the state bill. So when this happens, when your student starts to fall behind in attendance, you may receive one of these letters. And so it's considered an excessive excused absences. So it's whether it's an excused or non-excused absence. It's just comes down to if the student is absent or not. So your first letter will be received after the student has been absent 5 times. A second letter you will receive if the student has been absent a total of 7 absences, and then that chronic absenteeism begins as early as the 9 absences, and then the 10% of school missed. Another letter that we do is also the first one will happen at parent conferences, but then it will happen at each report card. So this is an example of what the report would look like. And you can see here the different color coding that we have. And so you want to obviously stay in the green. You want to stay in that area. And this is just a bigger shot of what that looks like. And so you can see the 95%. That's the no attendance issues. And so this is an example from the third quarter, but just showing you, if your student has missed 6 days or less, and then you can see the color coding. So you definitely don't want to get into the orange or the red. So you want to stay above that 90% for sure when it comes to absences. And so just to speak a little bit more about that SARB process, if that unfortunately does happen, if you are considered for that SARB process, the parent will appear before the Student Attendance Review Board, and that will consist of these different members here. So we have a district attendance supervisor, sometimes either the principal or the assistant principal will be there, our school social worker, one of our student intervention facilitators or SIFs. We also have a BPD school resource officer, and we may even have a person from our family resource center. And so the whole point of this is we want to review the attendance and documentation of interventions that have taken place in the school for the student and with the student's parents or guardians. So ultimately, we want to be able to help and make sure that our students are successful and are coming to school. So, of course, we don't want you to get to that point. So, here are some ways of how you can help. So, your job as a parent, you can prepare your child for a lifetime of success by making regular attendance a priority. So, make that a big deal in your home and with your students, and letting them know that, going to school is their job, just like you have your own job, whether it's taking care, whether it's in the home or out of the home, taking care of them and your family. You can figure out reasons for your child's absences, whether they're physical or emotional, and taking advantage of support services that we have in the school system for you. And our goal ultimately is to work with families to identify barriers that are keeping our students from attending school. And together, we want to be able to find solutions to ensure students are present on time and at school daily. So if that's not helping, we want to help you. And so, please let us know of how we can help you, and let's set up a goal together. Of course, there will be exceptions. If your student is sick, is not feeling well, we definitely don't want them coming to school. And so these are some reasons here of why your student may be, maybe at home, obviously, if they're not feeling well. So reasons such as fever over 100, maybe they're vomiting, maybe they're contagious, that you have written orders from a doctor to stay home. And with that, though, we want to make sure that you are calling the office to make sure that you are clearing their absence. So when they are absent, you have up to 48 hours to call our office, let us know they were sick, and what's going on. And that way you're communicating to us, and we can are able to better serve you. And if you do take your student to the doctor, please just bring that doctor's note, and that will help clear the absence for your student. As mentioned before, we want to be able to help our families. And so if there is something that is maybe hindering or stopping or making it difficult for your child to come to school, we have a resource center that's actually located it's for our whole district, but it's actually located right next to our school. And this is for our families in need and of support. So please do not hesitate to call them if you need any assistance at all. They have a ton of resources and support available. And if they don't have it, they'll be able to, reach out and find it for you. So we have the phone number available right here. And if for some reason, once again, that SAR process does go, gets to that point, or even just before, we do have offer Saturday school. And what this does is if your student is referred to going to Saturday school based on their poor attendance, what this does is it improves those attendance habits. Of course, we want them to come to school, instead, because if they're missing out on school, they're missing out on their learning. So we want them in school, but the next best option would be Saturday school, and that would just be improving their attendance habits. And that's located at Greenfield Middle School. And this is how you would get here from Palla. And the time would be from 8 to 12. There is a snack included. They do have split up the classes based on their grade, and it's just different teachers and administration within the district itself. Here is our contact information for the school, for Paula. If you have any questions at all about anything that was presented, please, please, please call us. We will be happy to help you, happy to answer any of your questions that you may have.